and one rainy day, two hearts, one shade. The memory I thought it'd stay. I found him near the second floor, between the desks, behind the door. Held out the handle, smiled too small. He blinked like he recalled it all. But then he laughed and softly said, I thought I got that back instead. And just like that, my grip went thin. A moment lost where one had been. Forgotten forecast, fading scene, where I held on and he'd wiped clean. The rain that day still haunts my skin, but he misplaced where we had been. A simple thing, a borrowed frame, but now I doubt he knew my name. You can't return what's never kept, so I just smiled and quickly stepped. The umbrella felt too big to hold, its handle warm, now slightly cold. I thought he'd say thanks for the care, instead just breeze and filtered air. To him a thing just loaned and done, to me the day we'd shared the sun. The water slipped through gutter lines, like every hope I called just mine. You were never meant to dim the light, but memory fades when held too tight. And I was left with only this, a ghost of what I thought was bliss. Forgotten forecast washed away, the moment I still replay. You borrowed rain and I kept fire, but both were gone from your desire. One phrase didn't I get it back, turned every color into black. You let it go without a scar, but I'm still soaking where you are. I held that day, but you misplaced. A moment soft, now self-erased. I shouldn't care, it was just rain, but memories don't leave on command. Forgotten forecast, quiet skies. You moved ahead while my storm cries. I kept that drop of warmth so long, but you forgot the simplest song. No blame, no fault, no thunder roll, just one more scar I can't console. You never meant to let it fade, but I remember what you mislaid. The photo snapped, the light was soft. A laugh we shared, not much, not oft. I smiled too wide, I posed just right, then walked alone into the night. Later screen glow in my hand, type send it when you get the chance. A simple line, no extra fuss. I watched the check mark turn to just. It lit to see my chest went tight, the kind of thrill that sparks at night. But nothing came, no file, no words, just silence spiked with static blur. Seen but not sent, and now I know where I exist in your echo. You saw the ask, you felt the ping, then chose to let another ring. The next buzz came from somewhere else, a group chat line that made me melt. You talked to them, you typed and laughed while I stayed muted, split in half. what stings more, you're there just not behind my door. You answer fast when groups call out, but I dissolve in silent doubt. Seen but not sent, and I still wait like photo film that's over its fate. You let me hang on empty threads while chatting someone else instead. One picture, one forgotten task, but in that space I dare to ask. You told the group but left me out, and now I blur beneath your brow. I didn't ask for something big, just proof I'd lived inside that clique. You saw, you knew, but let it slide, and I just faded from your side. Seen but not sent, and now it's clear your world moves on. I did stare up here. I'm not the ping that you reply, just background buzz you pass nearby. So keep the photo, I won't ask. You left me blurred behind your mask. The image won't reach me today. The silence says what you won't say. Breath and frost, a hallway gray. The cold hung low on Friday's day. I crossed the yard with fingers numb, then saw him near the old gym drum. His scarf, that shade of charcoal blue, wrapped gently around, but not for who I thought might need it, maybe me. Instead, she smiled so casually. He said, it's cold, you'll catch a chill. His voice was kind, so soft, so still, but every syllable he gave just carved the part I couldn't say. Warmth that missed me, just one thread, a scarf, a word, a wish instead. I watched them laugh and borrow care, while winter kissed my silent stare. You didn't see, you didn't mean, but kindness cuts when caught between. I heard the words not meant for mine, and felt the cold re-underline. I said I'm fine, but shivered through that hidden line. You passed me once, just waved no pause, and shared your warmth without a cause. To her it seemed so small, so sweet, but I just stared down at my feet. A scarf can't lie, it always knows who gets to feel what no one shows. I told myself I didn't care, but still I breathed your warmthless air. She wrapped it twice and left so light, while I just vanished from the sight. Warmth that missed me, passed me by, like clouds that drift but never cry. You lent her threads, you gave her grace, while I kept frost across my face. A simple line, you'll catch the flu, and yet I wished it came from you. You never knew, you couldn't guess that I'd trade pride for one caress. chances are you weren't cruel, you weren't cold, but some care leaves when left untold. You gave her more than just a scarf, you gave a place I couldn't carve. I'll walk ahead, I'll feel the breeze, but still remember warmth like these. I type the date in hidden code, a silent line I never showed. Your birthday marked with no fanfare, just digits breathing private air. No cake, no pose, no handmade card, just quiet thoughts I held to heart. I told myself I'll wait and see how close invisible can be. The morning came, my phone lit bright. Don't forget in pale screen light, but down the hall I froze in place. Too many gifts, too many faces. Birthday reminder just for me, but I was never meant to be among the bags, the notes, the bows, a name you didn't even know. You smiled so wide, you said no way. Unwrapped the care of someone's day, and I just stood behind the door, then pressed delete and felt no more. My fingers hovered on the screen, that empty buzz of what had been. I never sent a single word, but still my silence felt unheard. They knew your favorite band, your type. I only guessed and built the hype. I told myself I'll celebrate, but not if I arrive this late. You didn't ask, I didn't give, but somehow still forgot to live. You had enough, a joyful crowd, and I just wasn't birthday allowed. Birthday reminder never sent, just one more heart in silent print. You didn't miss what I withheld, but still it bruised the way it swelled. I watched the gifts stack like a wall between the maybe and the fall. I closed the app, ignored the day, and filed my name too far away. I never am a candle bright, but still I flinched beneath its light. You never know what went unsaid. It's buried deep where dreams play dead. Birthday reminder now erase, a secret care that's been replaced. You got enough from all the rest, and I stayed quiet like a guest. You won't recall what I won't send, but still it aches when near the end. You smiled at gifts I didn't bring, and I just swiped, deleting spring. Delete reminder. Yes. Spring was close and soft and slow. Petals danced like time would go. The final bell, the final mile. He walked ahead, I trailed and smiled. A breeze pulled threads across the air. His steps were light, his collar fair. And just before he crossed the gate, he turned and fate began to wait. My breath caught up, my chest went tight. A single glance could make it right, but eyes don't lie and mine could see. He didn't turn to look for me. Looked, but not at me, but at the one beside, so free. He smiled and said, "Matane light," and I just vanished from the sight. The petals swirled like closing lines, and I stayed stuck between the signs. He turned, but not for who I'd been, and spring exhaled what could have been. close enough to disappear. He passed the bloom, then gave a nod to someone else and left me flawed. I told myself it wasn't much, a turn, a word, a simple touch. But sometimes pain arrives in soft and lifts you up just to fall off. No crime was done, no lie was said, but dreams can ache when left unread. I hope too long, I stare too slow, and let the moment tell me no. Looked back, just not for me, a frame without my memory. I stood beneath the falling tree and watched him walk out easily. His words were kind but not my line. They landed soft on someone fine, while I held on to maybe things that never bloomed, just lost their wings. I should have known from how he left, from where he stood, from how she asked. But still I let the petals lie, pretending glances never die. Looked back and I still flinch at how the season didn't pinch. It floated past with silent grace and left me faceless in its place. You turned around but not for me, and I just watched the final spree of cherry ghosts and unsaid lines. Spring ends in someone else's eyes. End of day, shoes in hand, he stood alone like time on sand. By the doors, against the wall, eyes ahead not seeing all. I pass behind with heavy breath, my words too small, my voice beneath. I said it soft, a simple note, but air just swallowed what I wrote. You didn't flinch, you didn't blink, my syllables just couldn't sink into the space between our shoes, and I just smiled and hid the bruise. I didn't reach though it was real, and now I'm learning not to feel the kind of quiet you return when someone speaks and no lights burn. You didn't hear and that's okay, but part of me just slipped away. I faced the wind, kept walking through, pretending I meant none of you. I held my shoes, kept walking past, a second gone too slow to last. Did you not hear, or did you choose to let my breath become a bruise? The sky was dim, the floor still wet, and I replayed the silhouette. You looked ahead, you checked your phone, while I kept walking all alone. 1 second late, 1 decibel that didn't shake your waiting shell. I said it once, I won't again. It echoed back with just the end. Echo didn't reach though it was real, and now I'm learning not to feel the kind of quiet you return when someone speaks and no lights burn. You didn't hear and that's okay, but part of me just slipped away. I faced the wind, kept walking through, pretending I meant none of you. but silence still can feel like ground. And I'm the note that faded fast, a whisper stuck in glass that passed. Echo didn't reach, but I still tried. A voice too soft, a breath denied. You never turned, you never knew. That hallway held a quiet you. So now I leave without a bend. No need to circle back again. I said it once, then watched it die. The word that vanished in goodbye. Take care. Guess not. It's fine. Bleachers creaked, the game went on. His sneakers danced with echo dawn. A watch from shade, a half from thought. In a world where I was not. Then came the spin, the ball astray. It rolled to where I sat halfway. I reached it first, it met my hand. And time grew thin like desert sand. I stood and held it out unsure, expecting maybe something more. But all I got, too fast, too flat, was all my bad and nothing back. You didn't say my name. You took the ball and played the same. No glance to hold, no frame to keep. Just faded fast like passing sleep. I gave you something small but real, and hope for something I could feel. But silence filled the gym again, and I became just her or then. No, he went. Still held his heat, but I just lost beneath my seat. No laugh, no smirk, no second take. Just dribbled off and left the ache. He never meant to wound or break, but names can heal what stares won't fake. And I had one, I wore it loud, but he tossed words into the crowd. Not hey, not you, not anything. Just weightless hair without a ring. The kind of moment you forget unless you're me, then it's regret. You didn't say my name, and now I hold that lack like flame. It wasn't cruel, it wasn't sharp, just soft indifference in the dark. I passed the ball, I met your eyes, but vanished into ceiling ties. You called it back with half a sound, and left my heart still on the ground. Not her. Didn't know you had the chance to say my name, to shift the stance, but still that echo haunts my chest. A voice that couldn't pass your test. You didn't say my name, and that's the part that feels like blame. One syllable could stitch the thread, but now it loops inside my head. You played, you turned, you laughed with friends, and I dissolved before the end. Now seen, not real, not quite the same. Just girl who never got a name. You said sorry, but not to me. Not really. Brook school bag sway. The sidewalk split in late day gray. He walked ahead, not far, not near. A pace I hope would keep me clear. The signal blinked, a welcome green. He paused as if he'd seen a scene. I thought, is this my perfect cue? But seconds slipped, I stayed askew. He didn't call, he didn't move, just waited there I tried to dare, but space just held me in the air. Green wasn't for me, though it said go. You stood ahead, but didn't know I chased the gap, but lost the time. The red arrived before the rhyme. You didn't mean to leave me back, but we were never side by track. You moved too still, I ran too slow, and watched the moment fail to grind. Go. I reached the curb with breath too tight. Your shoes lit soft in sunset light. I thought if I could just be there, we'd start again, the perfect pair. But you looked up, then crossed alone, while I just stared into my phone. The red blinked in like slow goodbyes, and I stood still with lowered eyes. I don't know if you saw me pause or felt the weight that silence draws. You never meant to drift ahead, but sometimes maybe turns to dead. Green wasn't for me, though I believed you'd wait until I caught your sleeve. But clocks don't stop for half-mid hearts, and misbeats count in broken parts. I reached too late, I read too slow. Your shadow stretched but didn't show. You didn't wave, you didn't see that green was red at least for me. Maybe I was close enough, maybe I just made it rough. But colors change and streets divide, and still I couldn't match your stride. Green wasn't for me, though it was bright. The distance dimmed it into night. You moved ahead like life does too, and I just blinked and lost my cue. I'm not the one you waited for, just static pacing at your door. You crossed the street, I stayed behind, still stuck between the light and mine. Notebook hugged against my chest. I crossed the hall, ignored the rest. A small excuse, a simple task, but still I hoped behind the mask. His door was cracked, the lights were low. I stepped inside, too soft to show, and then he spoke without a glance. Who is it broke my last romance? 2 words, no harm, just protocol, but still they made my insides fall. He didn't know, he didn't guess, and I just stood a fading press. Unknown sender, I brought your name, but lost myself inside that frame. I waited long to just be seen, and ended up where ghosts have been. You looked at me and said alright, but everything had left by night. My hands were full, my heart was too, but not enough to spark your clue. I placed the book on someone's desk, your voice still echoing grotesque. Not cruel, not sharp, just unaware, but that can hurt more than despair. No spotlight, no forgotten fight, just absence wrapped in classroom light. You never knew the weight I bore, that walking in was so much more. I thought you'd maybe call my name, instead I just became the frame. A stranger in your contact list, a nameless blur, a subtle mist. Unknown sender to define, to be dismissed in such rewind. You didn't mean to break my spell, sometimes rings like hell. I wanted you to smile to see that I'm the one who dared to be, but you just asked who's at the door, and I'm not knocking anymore. Maybe I matter just a touch, but never quite enough as such. A moment passed, you turned away, and I erased myself that day. Unknown sender, I retreat. A name you didn't think to meet. You'll never know what I let die inside the doorway passing by. I held the book, you held the key, but didn't see the part that's me. So I'll rewrite the ending fair. I came, I left, you weren't aware. Paper rolls and brushes click, footsteps in a prep room tick. He moved past with colored thread, and I stood still just steps ahead. He didn't pause, no glance, no bend, just said the tape, can you hand it, friend? And I complied like silent air, but wondered why I wasn't there. Our hands brushed by, that fleeting touch, but I stayed lost, not feeling much. He spoke, I moved, we filled the space, but none of it had face to face. Hand me the silence, don't pretend that tape is more than means to end. You didn't look, you didn't stay, you used the word then walked away. I played my part, I passed the tool, but somewhere deep I felt the fool to crave a spark from lifeless script when all I got was fingertips. The room was loud with color spun, but I just stood erased by fun. My name was gone, my voice on mute, a background role in full pursuit. He never meant to strike me down, but sometimes silence makes you drown. A gesture made, a task complete, still I remained beneath his feet. No thanks, no smile, no simple thread, just turned away and painted red. He saw the tape, not what I gave, and I just smiled and misbehaved. Hand me the silence, make it neat, forget the hands, forget the heat. You touched my skin, but not my soul, and left my want a vacant hole. You didn't see how much I hoped that just one word could mean we spoke. The tape unspools like time unwinds, and all I hold are leftover lines. I wasn't asking for a name, just something more than tape and frame. But even when our fingers met, your eyes stayed fixed without regret. Hand me the silence, that's okay. I've learned what not to do or say. You needed tape, not what I feel, so now I fold and start to heal. I'll pass the role, I'll play the part, but not expect you to know my heart. You looked ahead, not left seconds of light. My hair rebelled in sudden flight. I held it down, tried to stay clean, but felt your eyes, or so it seemed. Just one soft breath, the world stood still. A second carved in daffodil. I dared to glance, half hope, half shy, but found the truth beneath the sky. Your eyes were fixed, but not on me. The wind blew clear what I should see. She laughed beneath the cherry rain, and I just blinked through silent pain. Emotional falls and free, but you were chasing dreams all night. I stood with spring tangled in face. You saw the bloom in some new place. No fault, no harm, no spoken lie, just me outshine beneath the sky. The breeze said maybe, your gaze said not, and hope turned cold in petals caught. My bangs a mess, my breath unsure, but still I wished for something pure. A shared mistake, a caught surprise, but not the truth I met in eyes. You tilted back, you smiled so wide, but all your focus stayed outside. A soft pink storm where she stood bright, while I turned grayscale in the light. I wasn't late, I wasn't near, just slightly off from where you steer. You didn't mean to bruise the day, but silence pains what words don't say. Looked my way like almost rain, but she received what I contained. A windblown mess, a second lost, while you admired April's gloss. I brushed my fringe, composed the part, but spring had already picked its heart. No stage for me beneath that tree, just fading girl in minor key. The petals fell, not meant for me. The scene was framed without my plea. You didn't choose, you didn't know, but sometimes wind still tells me so. Looked my way, then passed right through. I wasn't her, and spring knew too. You smiled at bloom, not storm, not mess, and I dissolved in quiet guess. So I will walk another breeze, let cherry fall on someone's knees. The wind may shift, the light may lie, but you saw pink and I, goodbye. I had your name, just not your line. The courage told at maybe fine. One digit type, then backspace fast. A message left inside the past. I told myself it's not the time, then watched you smile mid-laughing chime. You tilted back, phone to your ear, and I stood still in silent fear. You laughed too soft, then mouthed a word, too far to hear, too sharp to blur. And I just watched like screen replay, a moment I had thrown away. Missed call, not on your screen, but from my heart you've never seen. You picked it up for someone else, while I pressed mute and hurt myself. I had the chance to reach to speak, but now I'm just a background peak. You're on the line, but not with me, a voice I'll never get to be. Your face lit up, your voice grew soft, and I just stood where noise got lost. You turned the corner mid-hello, while I became my own shadow. Not brave, not bold, I let it go, but watching stung much more than no, because you gave what I delayed to someone else with no charade. I could have asked, I almost did, but all my words stayed safely hid. Now echoes ring that aren't for me, and I regret so quietly. Missed call, just not received. You dialed a name I can't believe, a ringing laugh that's not my tone, and I just listened all alone. I should have tried, I should have cracked the silence is your day. No ringtones left for hearts unsent, no second saved from what I meant. You'll never know how loud it screamed inside the voice that only dreamed. Missed call from me to you, I stayed too still, I thought too few. And now the line runs cold and clear. Your voice, her smile, not mine to hear. No pop-up screen, no blinking light, just sleepless thoughts at 2 a.m. You picked up once, not knowing how. I let that moment slip somehow. Slang, recommended tracks from all a list where music knew no wall. Then halfway down it caught my eye, my favorite song, I don't know why. The title glowed, it screamed of me, but something else I didn't see. Their names beneath, not typed in mine, his name and hers in perfect line. My chest skipped twice, then stayed too still, like static trapped against its will. Same song, not mine, but notes still heard. A melody I wore like dirt, he loved it too, I should have guessed, but not with me. They shared a tune I thought was ours, but I just watched behind the hours. It wasn't wrong, it wasn't cruel, but still I felt a kind of fool. Lyrics I'd underlined, the way I dreamed he'd say me too, now stained in names I can't undo. She probably smiled, said let's submit, and he agreed, I guess they fit. I never told him what it meant, but silence still collects the rent. I almost laughed, I almost teared, it's just a song, but it was weird to feel so close yet not quite there. A ghost and sound that disappeared. Same song, not mine, but I still play the beat of what I couldn't say. They carved their names into a chord, while I stayed mute and just adored. The chorus rose, my breath went thin, I knew I wouldn't win within a verse too late, a rest too long, still trapped inside the wrong song. Soft in every crowd. Now someone else owns the refrain, and I'm the lyric lost in rain. Same song, not mine, but I still feel each harmony that couldn't heal. You like the tune, just not through me. I shared love in a key I flee, so let it play, I'll skip the track. Your name with hers won't play it back. A title known, a heart misplaced, one line erased, one beat displaced. Same white line, same morning light. He passed again, just left a light, our shoulders brushed in silent rhyme. I time my step like every time. I told myself just one more day, and maybe I would find the way to catch his eyes, to say hello before the spring could fully go. But wishes wilt when left unspoken, and quiet dreams are easily broken. I let each chance slip like routine until one scene erased the green. He walked with her, now next to me, a voice I'd never get to be. Their laughter bloomed like cherry rain, and I just froze inside the lane. The path I traced, now out of line. I watched my hope in real time decline. No storm, no scream, no tragic cue, just petals falling out of view. He didn't see me, never did. I wore my silence like a lid. I thought he'd notice, thought he'd pause, but hearts don't act without a cause. She spoke his name so clear, so light, while I turned ghost in broad daylight. They didn't mean to twist the thread, but in that step my springtime fled. I let the morning carry dreams, but not all stories fit the seams. You can't rewind a passing phase, or chase what never knew your place. He walked with her, and I stood still, a wilted wish behind the hill. I never said a single word, and now it's gone, unheard, unheard. The breeze moved on, the blue was spent, my feelings never made a dent. It ended soft, with no design, just one more day, he wasn't mine. Maybe I loved a shadow trace, a silhouette I failed to face. The mornings came, the mornings go, and he will never even know. He walked with her like spring walks past, while I just watched my moment crash. No final word, no was it real, just faded hope I couldn't feel. So now I changed my path, my time, no longer chasing steps in rhyme. He'll never know what brushed aside, a heart that bloomed but never tried. Same white line, same morning light. He passed again, just left to right. Our shoulders brushed in silent rhyme. I timed my step like every time. I told myself just one more day, and maybe I would find a way to catch his eyes, to say hello before the spring could fully go. But wishes wilt when left unspoken, and quiet dreams are easily broken. I let each chance slip like routine until one scene erased the green. He walked with her, not next to me, a voice I never get to be. Their laughter bloomed like cherry rain, and I just froze inside the lane. The path I traced, now out of line. I watched my hope in real time decline. No storm, no scream, no tragic cue, just petals falling out of view. time fled. I let the morning carry dreams, but not all stories fit the seams. You can't rewind a passing face or chase what never knew your place. He walked with her and I stood still, a wilted wish behind the hill. I never said a single word, and now it's gone unheard, unheard. The breeze moved on, the bloom was spent. My feelings never made a dent. It ended soft with no design. Just one more day he wasn't mine. Maybe I left a shadow trace, a silhouette I failed to face. The mornings came, the mornings go, and he will never even know. He walked with her like spring walks past, while I just watched my moment crash. No final word, no was it real, just faded hope I couldn't feel. So now I change my path, my time, no longer chasing steps in rhyme. He'll never know what brushed aside a heart that bloomed but never tried. Library hush, no one speaks. Finger trails the checkout weeks. Just by chance his name aligned on page and date in quiet bind. A novel soft with pastel tones, a story built on longing bones. Not what he'd usually explore, or maybe I don't know him more. The pages screened and scripted, kiss too sweet to match a boy like this, unless someone had shown the way, suggested it on some lost day. Borrowed feelings signed in ink, and now I don't know what to think. Was it for her, a joke, a dare, or something whispered soft and rare? I saw the title, lost my ground. The plot was loud, though no one frowned. He borrowed more than just a book, and now I shake at what he took. He turned the page, did he relate? Did some part ache or captivate? Did someone smile and say you'd cry? And now I'm here just asking why. I know it's dumb, it's not a sign, but still this shadow feels like mine. I shouldn't care, I shouldn't guess, but hearts don't read in lowercase. You can't unsee a title wrong when jealousy hums like a song. You just imagine scenes untrue and feel them sharper than you knew. Borrowed feelings bound and thin, and I just shake outside, not in. He touched a world of love and light, but didn't know my fading fight. I want to ask, to joke, to see if that story rewrote me, but instead I shelf my doubt and let the fiction shut me out. It's just a book, it's just a name, but now I'll never read the same. Some pages bruise without a mark, and love begins without a spark. Borrowed feelings stamped and gone, and I'm the one still holding on. You flip through pages unaware that I imagine being there. One quiet lone, one printed part, but somehow still it scratched my heart. You never meant meant to stir the air, but someone else had gotten there. Chairs not yet filled, the room still cold. Morning silence half unfold. I stepped inside, then caught the sight of him asleep beneath soft light. His arms were crossed, his breath was slow. A still life sketch in sunbeam glow. I thought, should I just one soft word? But silence wrapped the things unheard. One breath held back, one chance on hold. The kind of brave I never told. My lips began to shake good morn, but someone else had beat the horn. Almost said it too late now. Her voice broke through, I asked not how. He blinked and smiled, the moment gone, and I just stood like stage withdrawn. I hesitated, she did not, and now I haunt the single spot where words could bloom but didn't stay. Just one good morn, too far away. Why? He stretched his back, the class came in, and I just traced what could have been. A voice that never found the air. No tangle deep in vacant stare. No drama here, no scripted break. Just silent ache for chances fake. I never spoke, I can't rewind, but still the echo loops my mind. She smiled like morning sun exists, while I dissolved in clenched up fists. You never knew what I had planned, but silence sometimes leaves a friend. Almost said it, but I froze, while she just stepped where courage goes. 1 second later, blinked too still, and now I carry off the will. I watched him wake, not hearing me, a ghost of high lost quietly. The seed, the light, the voice, the day, all passed me while I looked away. You didn't wait and she was kind, but still I can't unsee the line where I stood still and she stepped through, and that's the moment I withdrew. Almost said it, that's the truth, but quiet doesn't